Hey everyone, welcome to today's lunch lesson live. So glad you're here. Today we are talking about what to post, right? Tell me below if you ever struggle with knowing what to post, right? Content ideas, I feel like we are always trying to figure out more content, right? So we're going to talk all about that. We're really going to talk about the two different types of posts, right? If you have a Facebook group, you really want to be thinking about different content compared to your social media profiles, right? All of your profiles for your business or your personal profile, wherever you're posting about your business, you really want that to be separate from your group, right? The group, the Facebook group where you're warming up your clients, that's really a little bit of a different mindset of what you are going to be posting about, right? So today we're going to talk about those two things, and I'm going to share 3 tips for each of those kinds of posts, both for your profile as well as for your Facebook group. So stick around, you're not going to want to miss it. So tell me if you are on the live, just say live below. I'd love to see who comes the day of. And tell me if you're on the replay, just say replay. I'd love to know who's coming in afterwards. All right, so glad you're here. Give me a little wave or a heart. So glad you're here. Thank you so much to everyone who voted. Every Tuesday, I put out a poll in this group about what topic to discuss. So I would love to know what is coming up for you and your business. I would love to hear what questions keep coming up for you, or what's been a burning question for your business, right? What do you think would be helpful to get you moving forward, to either get you motivated or help you get unstuck or just over that hump a little bit to really start making progress this summer, right? This summer is upon us. Today is the last day for my kids. Tell me if your kids are out. So summer is really here. So it is the summer for women. I am claiming it. It is ours. We are going to make some money this summer. So tell me if you're here for it, right? Say summer, little shout out. All right, so feel free to vote, right? Every Tuesday, you can always suggest some topics. You can always reach out to me privately as well, but every Tuesday you can write in the vote, in the poll, you can add your suggestions as well. So if you have a topic that you want to talk about, feel free to suggest one. All right, so thanks so much for everyone for voting. Today's topic is what to post. Such a good topic, right? We all are obviously wanting to figure out how often and what, right, to really post about. So first, I always like to say, right, let's get in our abundant mindset. And what does abundant mindset, right, mean to you? Tell me what you feel like abundant mindset is for you. I think it's different for everyone, right? But for me, I really think it is about kind of opening our minds to possibility and being willing to change, right? You are here because you had a question about whether it's how to post or what to post, or, you had some question that drew you to this video. So definitely feel free to kind of think about what parts of you are feeling stuck and what are your questions inside, and really be open to change, right? Because I think that is what it's about, is being willing to hear from different people and being open to trying a new method, right? I think that's how we learn, that's how we grow, right? So definitely feel free to tell me below, right? What comes up for you? Are you stuck in your business about knowing what to post or how often, or is there some kind of hesitation, right? Is there some kind of mindset block that has you maybe afraid to sell your business, maybe afraid to be pushy, maybe afraid to put yourself out there? And that's hard, right? I think it's hard for a lot of people, and that's why I always focus on posts that kind of run the gamut, because you don't want to be salesy, right? I get it. None of us want to be salesy, and none of us want to be sold to all the time, right? I want to interact with a lot of businesses as a genuine human. I understand that people are going to sell their stuff, and that's important, but I don't want to be sold to all the time, right? And I don't want it to feel disingenuous either. So those are some things that we're going to talk about for sure. So definitely put your abundant mindset on, and definitely listen to that inner voice that's telling you what to change in your business, maybe what to focus on, because I think that's really important, and I think that's all about abundance as well, is listening to that kind of inner voice and getting those messages of where to focus on our business, right? I think that's important. Okay, so today I really want to give a big caveat, right? We're talking about posting, but I want to make it very clear. Posting and hoping is not a great strategy, right? If all you are doing is posting and focusing on what to post, there are other parts of your business that are probably hurting, right? If you are not getting 5 to 10 leads to your business every single day, if you are not getting 5 to 10 members into your group every single day, then let's talk, right? Because if you are not getting enough volume of eyeballs, then there are other ways, other places to focus, right? It is not about more posting. Posting and hoping is not a great strategy. We feel like as business owners, often that is where we can focus and that's all we have control over, right? We're like, well, I'll just keep posting. It's not landing on the right ears, so I'll just keep posting, right? Or I've got to change my message. It must be my message. It must be me. It must be my post, right? So we focus on all of our content because we feel like that's all we have control over, right? And there is more to it, right? There is certainly more. If all you are doing is posting and worried about posting and figuring out what to post, let's talk strategy, because there is far more. That should be a back burner, right? Your posting should be on autopilot. If it's not, definitely say strategy below. I would love to chat with you about what your current strategies are and maybe some ideas to help make it better. Make it work for your business. That's the goal. So definitely, if you're focusing only on posting, that is the wrong strategy, right? Posting should be ancillary, it should be autopilot, it should be secondary for sure. You want to focus, especially as a coach, right? You want to focus on getting clients, obviously, right? You want to focus on building relationships and making people understand where you're coming from, but also just getting to know people, right? Building those relationships so that people know that you're the authority and know that they can come to you with their questions. And that's what you want to be focusing on building, not just here's my content and this is me, hello, it's me again, right? So definitely think about that. So a big caveat, yes, we're talking about posting today and what to post, but again, if you are only focused on posting, there's far more to it that can be more effective. And I'm not saying more work, right? Because more work is not the goal ever, right? For any of us. So definitely let's talk. If you're only focused on posting, let's focus on some other parts. So definitely this is for coaches, right? This is for go-getters and action takers. I know that is you. That is why you are here. You are wanting to make a change. So we're staying in our abundant mindset, open to change, but also willing to take some action, right? That is the goal. If you are not getting the results that you want, then it is about learning new skills and learning from the people who have gone before you so that you can make a change and move your business forward, right? It is not about continuing to post if posting's not working, right? Stop posting if it's not working. Stop right now. Let's talk. Okay, so that's a big caveat, right? But definitely we're going to talk about what to post if you feel like that's something that you can get more ideas and put on the back burner, but focus on your strategy for getting new customers into your business every single day. Okay, so if you're new here, right, my name is Christina. I'm a business coach. I've been helping businesses for the last 10 years and I've had several businesses of my own, but what I love to talk about is the bike shop, right? Many of you have heard these stories, but what I learned so great at the bike shop, my husband and I opened a little bike shop coffee shop here in Florida, and it was so much fun. We loved learning about the local community. We loved getting to know our customers, and it was such a fun time. It was a heartache, right? And when we had to close our doors, it was so stressful. But what I learned at the business, at the bike shop about business is how to get people in the door. And it wasn't just posting, right? And that is where I always say, we thought if I build this beautiful bike shop, brick and mortar, people would just come, right? If I build this website, people will come. If I build this Facebook profile, people will come. And as many of you have probably figured out, right, it just, quite frankly, doesn't work like that. You can't just build something and hope that people will come. You have to figure out a way to entice people to come, to go where they are, go where your customers are and meet them where they're at, right? And then talk to them about, hey, come on over, right? That's a slow build up to, hey, come on over to see what I got. That's what marketing is, I believe. So at the bike shop, we learned very quickly, I can't just post either, right? I can't just build it and they will come. I can't just post over here on Facebook and hope that they will come. We needed to take it a step further. And that's where the Facebook group really came in for us at the bike shop. And this was 10 years ago, right? And the Facebook group was still working amazing for us. We were able to create events. So locally, events was a really great way to get people in our door and invite people. So events definitely get seen far more than regular posts often in Facebook. So that's another great idea. If you are, especially if you're looking for local traffic, definitely think about events and sharing events in a Facebook group. Those are some great ideas. But, or from your, you can create an event from your page as well. But the Facebook group was really successful for us at the Bike Shop Coffee Shop because we could create different events. We could, once we got our customers in, we could put them on the email list, right? I definitely didn't take advantage of that as well as I should have. But it's something to, it's a vessel, right? It's a way for you to kind of capture your audience. Many of you have noticed, right, over on Instagram or your Facebook profile, people are following and liking, and they're gone, right? You never see them again. You have no control over who is following you or liking, and you have no way of capturing their information, right? Yes, you have their Facebook profile, and you could always reach out to via DM or Messenger, which is a great option too, but you have no way of gathering their information. You're really dependent on that interaction or the engagement. So we're going to talk about posting and posting for engagement, but definitely think about a way to capture them is the Facebook group, right? The goal, I think, for coaches should be to build a Facebook group so that you can capture your audience and then warm them up with your emails and your posts. So those are the things that we're going to talk about. Okay, so first, let's talk about your social media profile. So if you have a business page, or if you're using your personal profile as kind of your business influencer type follower, if you've changed your personal profile, or maybe if you haven't, right, you're just gaining friends and followers, that's fine too. But whether it's your personal profile or a business page or your Instagram profile or wherever you have set up a profile for your business, these are the posts that we're going to talk about. So yes, you want to promote yourself, but again, like we talked, nobody wants to be sold to every single day, right? Nobody. And so neither do your followers or your friends or, right, business associates. Nobody wants to be sold to all the time. So there are some ways to definitely be more engaging rather than just promotional. So here are kind of the 3 tips that I recommend for your social media profiles for your business. So this would be like your business page, not your Facebook group, right? So outside of your Facebook group, on your social media profiles, you definitely want to think about scheduling, right? And scheduling, right, many of you have taken advantage of it. If you don't, it's a great way to put it on the back burner, have posting be secondary. So maybe one day a month, right? You kind of think about, okay, what's going to be my strategy? What am I going to post about? Or even once a week, right? Once a week, I think is doable at the beginning. And I would focus on trying to get 3 posts per week, right? If you're doing more than 3 posts and that's automatic, that's great, right? You can certainly do more. But definitely the goal would be 3 posts per week to start off, for sure, on your business profiles. So you definitely want to think about what 3 things could I say each week. And I think, and so the first tip, right, is to schedule, right? Schedule 3 posts per week. That would make your life so much easier, right? So just spend 1 day a week scheduling those 3 posts. The second tip is my 30-30-30 rule, right? I know that doesn't add up to 90 or 80, whatever, 100%. It's only 90, right? But that's okay. 30-30-30. We're talking about a third, and a third. So one of those 3 posts, I think, should be motivational, right? So Monday's a great day for this, right? Everybody's looking to get a little bit kick in the butt, right, for Monday morning. So think about motivational Monday, or whatever, right? It could be Sunday Fun Day, something motivational. What is going to motivate people? And it can just be fun, right? It could be fun, motivational. So definitely think about a motivational post 1 day a week, right? Once per week, think about a quote. It could be an inspirational story. It could be motivational. So not promotional, right? Motivational. The second out of the 30-30-30, the second post could be educational. So we're talking motivational and then educational. So many of our businesses, right, we want to educate people about either a topic that we're talking about, share some tips. We want to give a resource. This would be a great day to maybe share a blog if you have a blog, or Canva is really amazing to figure out like some, 3 tips on, wellness or something like that. So definitely educational would be a second post. And then the third post should be promotional. So, right, the first post should be motivational, second educational, and then the third promotional. So if you're only posting 3 per week, only one of those is about your business, right? And the others can kind of be indirectly about your business because it's about you and whatever. But that third promotional post is completely about you. So that would be, here's our, discounts going on. Here's a service that we offer. Here's an upcoming event. Here's my program. Here's what I offer. So once per week, you're promoting yourself. But the other posts, I think, if you're only doing 3 per week, then the other posts should definitely be more about your customer. So motivational and educational. That way, I always consider, especially on Facebook, I feel like the posts are kind of like a mini blog, right? You want something to be quick and easy, bite-sized information. So people are scrolling and liking and they're gone, right? You want to be able to capture their attention within that first 3 seconds. So you want it to be a really great picture, you want it to be a really cool quote, you want it to be something attention grabbing. And I always suggest video, right? Videos are obviously as you scroll, you see it, right? So videos are a great way to capture attention. So even if you have a quote coming in, something like that, you can check out Canva, right? And Canva has animated features so that you can animate every single element that you put into your little post design. So that's really fun. So it automatically turns it into a video, right? If you animate something, then all of a sudden it's a video, right? You can save it as a video. So that's something to think about. So the 3 posts: motivational, educational, promotional. And I feel like that really gives you a baseline, right? Because if you're struggling to figure out what to post every day, or if you sit down and you're like, okay, I want to schedule for the week, and you're stuck, right? At least these 3 posts can kind of spark some inspiration, I think. So, and you can think about hashtags, right? At the bike shop, we did this. I thought the bike shop, it was so great. We would do Thirsty Thursday. We would do Sunday Fun Day. Find some cute hashtags, and that way it jogs your memory. Oh yeah, what do I do on Thursdays? Oh yeah, I post a drink, right? Thirsty Thursday. What do I do on Sundays? Oh yeah, I post about a fun ride, or whatever it is. So that way in your brain, it's really easy, because there's nothing worse than, realizing you didn't post or schedule anything for the week, and then like you're stuck. Oh my God, what do I post? Then you're stressed out, and then, right, you're putting the kids in the car and you're like, oh crap, I got to think about what to post. And it's stressful, right? But if you forgot and you're like, oh my God, it's Monday, I'll just find a quick quote, boop, share, or, create in Canva, whatever, right? It gives you a place, it gives you a baseline. So I really like that idea, is giving yourself 3 posts per week. That's kind of your baseline, right? And then you can certainly add stuff in there, right? You definitely want to think about, people love like a this or that, people love a poll, people love another way to interact. So all of those 3 posts, you definitely want to think about some way to interact. And I really think the best way to spark engagement in both your profile and your Facebook group is ask more questions. So if you are not asking questions in either your profile or your Facebook group, you're definitely missing out on a way to speak to your audience. You want them to engage. Ask them questions, right? Who likes pizza or hot dogs, right? I mean, you don't have to be but it could be something related to your business, right? Who prefers, exercising at the gym or at home, or who prefers, water versus flavored water, flat versus sparkly, or, whatever it is, whatever suits your business. Ask questions, ask more questions, and definitely on both profile and Facebook group, ask more questions. That gets engagement, right? Gets people talking. So ask more questions for sure. And then the third tip for your social media profile, right? We definitely want to think about a call to action. So over on your profiles, especially Instagram, right? Instagram is it's the least clickable environment, right? So on Instagram, you really want to have some sort of call to action. Say yes below, click my profile, right? That's a little bit harder, but DM me if you want to be so blunt, or some say a word below if you want me to follow up, kind of a thing, right? If you agree, just say yes if you agree, or drop an emoji for whatever. So, or if you're interested in this freebie, right? Drop an emoji below, something like that. But a call to action. Tell your audience how you want them to engage with you. Right? Ask more questions and give a call to action. That's really the way to get people to interact with you. I think often as women, we are not direct, right? We've been taught to be polite, and so it is not polite to be direct, right? And so it's hard for us to ask for what we want. But as a business owner, you need to be upfront with your audience, right? They don't know what to do. They don't know how to interact with your profile. Tell them, right? Tell them, hey, say yes below. Give me a shout out, or send me a DM if you're interested in this, or tell them how to engage with your content. So be direct, ask a question, give a call to action. So those are some ideas. So as just a quick recap, right, for your social media profiles, right, your business page or any of your, even if you're using your personal page for business, this would be the tips to think about. So you definitely want to schedule, and I would say schedule a minimum of 3 posts per week. So schedule your posts, right? That way you are not having to worry about it every single day, right? So schedule your posts. The second tip is use the 30-30-30 rule. So each of the third posts, right? Each post, one is motivational, one is educational, and one is promotional. So that would be your 3 minimum posts per week. If you're struggling for content, right? If you're not struggling for content, maybe that doesn't apply, or you've figured out something else, right? But that's always something to feather in or think about, right? If you're stuck with some ideas, I think that's always a great way to kind of give you a brainstorm, right? Give you some ideas on what to post. Motivational, educational, and promotional. So, and then the third tip for your social media profiles, for your business profiles, is a call to action, be direct, and ask questions, right? So definitely don't forget to tell them how to interact. Ask them a question, give a call to action, something that gets them to engage. Tell them how to interact with you. All right, so that is for your business profiles, right? So now let's talk about the Facebook group. If any of you have a Facebook group, feel free to drop it in the comments. We would all love to support you here. Here in this group, right? We're all women business owners. So definitely feel free to drop your Facebook group below, and let's all support each other and grow our groups, right? That's our goal. So if you have a Facebook group, I always say this, you really want to think about your Facebook group separate from your business profiles, right? Separate from your personal profiles. The Facebook group is far more about your audience. It is not just about you, right? Consider it, I had another coach tell me this, right, which I loved, is consider it like a party, right? Your Facebook group is a party. You're just the host. You're the facilitator. You want to get your audience engaging with each other, talking with each other about the topics that you want them to talk about, right? So it's not just a, social group, but you want to facilitate the conversations that people are talking about, right? So in this group, right, you're in this group, I ask questions every single day, and it's all related to your social media profiles, right? So you can give your social media profiles, but the idea is to get you supporting each other, right? That is the whole goal of this group. Let's all support each other and grow together. We rise together. That's my favorite. So that is the purpose of this group, right? As well as, of course, I'm feathering in a little bit of my promotion. But it is far more about your audience. You want to ask them questions and get them talking to each other. So that is tip number 1 for your Facebook group. Ask more questions. Ask questions, right? It is not about, hey, it is not just an extension of your business profiles, right? It is not duplicating the work. No, by no means, right? It is separate, and it is about your target audience. So you want to get to know them. You want to ask them questions where they are on their journey of whatever you provide, right? Ask them how they feel about, something that you're thinking about offering. You can do a poll, right? You see polls in my group all the time. Ask about, hey, I'm thinking about having this kind of program. Who'd be interested in blah, 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 right? And give them some options. Then, it's great feedback. So not only are you getting to know your audience, but you're getting feedback on your products and services. What are people even wanting, right? What do people want from you? What would people be interested in? Those are great questions to really be asking your audience. You have direct feedback. Okay, so that is tip number 1 for your Facebook group. Ask more questions, for sure. Because the whole goal is to get more engagement, right? So Facebook, if many of you have a Facebook group, Facebook is going to show your group to other people that are interested, that maybe like similar groups or are in similar groups, right? So Facebook will show your group to more people, so you don't have to work so hard, right? Facebook will show your group to more people if you have more engagement and more posting and more members, of course, right? But I believe their algorithm is more focused on engaging and posts. So if you're only posting once per day in your Facebook group and no one's responding, that group is dead, right? Facebook is not going to show that group to anybody. And if you have low member count, right? Even if you have a high member count, right? If you have 1 post per day and nobody is seeing it, Facebook that's not a hot group, right? And think about this, right? I often say, if you're looking for other groups to engage in, right, which I always recommend, if you're looking for other groups to share your own group in, you're looking for groups that are highly engaging. You also don't want to be a part of a group that has 30,000 members and they're only posting once a day, or it could be posting 10 times a day from different people, but no one is seeing those posts, right? Why would you want to be in that group? Because if you're in that group and wanting to promote your own business and no one's responding, nobody's engaging with the posts, no one's going to see your post, right? There's no point in engaging or being in that group or posting about your content in that group. So same with your own group, right? Really think about that is how you are looking for other groups. You want that same, those same analytics happening in your group. So you want more members, more posts per day, and more engagement. Engagement is really the key in groups, right? Facebook is going to show your group to more people the more engaging your group is. So you definitely want people to be commenting, liking, interacting with your posts. If no one is interacting with your posts, right, then we've really got to think about what questions you're asking and and what people are in your group. Because if those questions aren't resonating, right, if you have not set up questions to qualify people to come into your group, right, if you just have a public group, you have no control over who's in that group. It could be a bunch of spammers. And if you're asking questions about parenting or moms or wellness and nobody's interested, nobody's going to respond, right? Those are the wrong people in your group. So that's something to think about for sure. But if you're asking the right questions to the right people and no one is responding, it doesn't mean the questions are wrong. It means no one is seeing it. You need to break the algorithm, right? So who is interested in breaking the algorithm, right? Tell me below if you have a group and no one is seeing your posts. Oh, that is that is so hard because you're putting in all this effort. So for one, if you are putting in effort over on your business pages, you're putting in effort in your Facebook group and no one is seeing either post, whew, that is the worst, right? That is really the worst. And that is, you don't want to keep doing the same thing. If you keep doing that route, and no one is seeing your stuff, then nothing is going to change, right? No one is seeing your posts. It's not your message. It is not your message. If no one is seeing your posts, it is not about you changing your tactics. It is you need more volume and you need more eyeballs, right? And one of the best ways, and that is why the group is such a valuable tool, is because you can tag at everyone, right? And I know there's a lot of people who don't want to be tagged, and that's fine, right? But that is the beauty of the Facebook group, is once per day, you can tag everyone in your group. You could also tag members of the group, which is amazing. So that is a special tool only allowed for groups. Over on your Facebook profiles or Instagram profiles, you can tag specific users over on Instagram as a business, right? Because it's just the same profile as a business or a person, whatever, on Instagram. But, I mean, it has a business setting, right? Of course, it's a little different, but you can tag people over on your Instagram profile. On your Facebook page as a business, you cannot tag person, right? You can tag another page, but you cannot tag a person. Because could you imagine if Starbucks went around, Starbucks doesn't need our help, but can you imagine if a big business started tagging specific users, right? That would be so spammy and none of us want to be a part of that. But so use this sparingly, right? You also don't want to be a spammer, but in your group, definitely, if you want to restart your group and re-engage with people, start using that @everyone tag, and it only allows you to do it once per day, and rightly so. You don't want to be putting them in every post, but you want to see if people are even seeing your posts, right? At least that helps people see, and then if they start responding, then more people will see it and more people will respond, and then you can get some feedback, right? Also, if you're tagging @everyone and still no one is liking it or commenting, that's when you can then change your tactic. That's when you know some people have seen it, right? And it might take a little bit. It might take a little bit of reimagining and reinvigorating that group. So it might take a little bit of time to get that feedback, but you definitely want to be using that @everyone tag, right? And I know a lot of some people don't like to be, and that's fine. If you don't like to be tagged, I understand, right? It can be annoying, but hopefully many of you in this group, right, just ignore it. If I @everyone and it's a post you're not interested in, just ignore it, right? But more than likely, if you're in this group and I've tagged @everyone, it's a post you might be interested in, right? It might be something you want to interact with. So I so appreciate everyone responding and okay with being tagged, right? But also if you have people in your group that have already shown interest in stuff, that's a great place to tag people, right? hey, so-and-so, I saw, thanks for your message on blah, blah, blah. I thought this might interest you, and tag them in a post. That is the beauty of the Facebook group, is you have captured that audience. They are group members in your target audience. You can tag them and you can tag at everyone. So definitely think about using that tag in the Facebook group. Definitely a really valuable tool that you don't want to miss out on, for sure. Okay, and then the third is the hardest, right? So in your group, and some of you there's probably two different schools of thought, right? Some of you are heavily promoting yourself in your Facebook group and no one is responding. So for you, you may want to back off and start asking more questions about your audience. Some of you may be so focused on your audience that you're not promoting yourself, right? And I tend to fall in this category, right? Because I don't want to be salesy. None of us want to be salesy. But if you have a Facebook group, it's for your business. You definitely want to be promoting your special services and offers, and you definitely want people to know what you have, right? That's why you have this Facebook group, to grow your business. So definitely think about trying to pepper in some of those posts about yourself, about your promotion. And it can be similar stuff to what you're posting on your business profile, but you definitely want it to be the minimum, right? You definitely want it to be less than other questions that you're asking in the group. So definitely think about how you are promoting yourself in your Facebook group. If it's too much, you can back off. If it's not enough, you can pepper more in, right? So definitely think about how that's going in your Facebook group, and maybe the ratio of promotional posts versus engaging posts. You definitely want more engaging posts, as opposed to it's just another extension of my business profile. Hey, it's me again. It's all about me, right? No one wants to go to that party. No one wants to go to that party where the host only talks about themselves, right? Unfortunately. So definitely think about who's in your group and how you are engaging them at your party in your Facebook group, right? That's how you want to think about it. And it's just a mindset shift, right? Over on our profile, we're so used to kind of a more promotional type mindset, and that's okay. If you're really good at promoting yourself, that's great. Then you can just start feathering in a bit more of those interaction posts, both on your profile and your Facebook group. But if you're not promoting yourself enough, then you can go the other way, right? And start feathering in a few more promotional posts in both places. So that's definitely what you want to think about. Okay, so who has questions, right? Tell me below if you have any questions about what to post, what I've talked about today. What are some things that came up for you? Feel free to say below what your questions are. I'll definitely reach out to you afterwards. So thanks so much for listening today. If you are not getting 5 to 10 leads into your business every single day, let's talk, because we need to change up some strategy, right? If you're not getting leads, and I do not call a follower a lead, right? If you're getting followers over on your personal profile or on your business page, that is great. That is not a lead. Followers are not leads. But as a business owner, you need leads. You need to get more leads, people who are interested, right? So a follower is not a lead until they have shown some interest, until they have said yes to something, taken some action. So it could be they just said yes to a call to action over on Instagram, but you want a way of capturing them. So you want to get their email address, get them into your Facebook group, get them to a place where you can warm them up. It could just be in the DMs, right? You want to kind of warm them up to your offers and services, whatever your freebie is or gateway offer, that's a place you can do it. But I think the Facebook group is a great place to start gathering your leads. These are leads. If they're wanting to come into your group, I would call that an interested party, right? And especially if they're answering your questions. You definitely want to have your questions to qualify those leads at the beginning of your group, so that when you can decide who's entering your group, right? And they can answer those questions. And you can check out their profiles before you allow them, right? You can see, who's this person? Are they spammy, or is it a brand new Facebook account? Is it, somebody, overseas that is in a country that, is probably not interested in your services? You don't have to let them into your group, right? Something to definitely think about. So if you are not, right, if you are not getting enough leads into your business every single day, just say strategy below, because I would love to reach out to you and figure out a way for you to get more action in your business, right? If you are just posting and hoping, that is not a strategy. That is not enough. It's not enough, right? Unfortunately. And I think we focus way too much on content, right? If all you're doing is focused on content, what am I going to post? What am I going to post? We need to be shifting our mindset to, how am I going to get more leads? How am I going to get more yeses? How am I going to get more people interested in what I have to offer? That should be the goal, as opposed to, what am I gonna put out there, right? What is my commercial? What am I gonna put out there? You want to think about getting them in. How am I going to get my target audience into my group? That's really, I think, the goal. So if you have questions or you are interested in more strategy, just say strategy below. I offer one-on-one coaching. I offer just calls, for if you just need a quick fix. We can just do a one-time call. It doesn't have to be a program package. If any of that interests you, I love these, my power hours, right? It's a strategy session. If you are interested in just a one-time power hour where we can really set up a plan for maybe the summer, right? Instead of a month ahead, we could plan for 3 months ahead and kind of be thinking about what your strategy is. And I'm always willing to check in with you along the way. All right, so if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me, or you can comment below. Let me know how your posting is going and if any of this was helpful. All right, thanks so much for sticking around. We'll see you at the next one.